What can you say about your team? Back-to-back games, 20-point deficits, coming away with 2 victories.
Yeah, and that's the playoffs. You got to keep fighting. Every possession matters, and you got to play all 48 minutes. And so we started slowly, got in a big hole, dug our way out, and then guys made a lot of tough plays. They were at their best when their best was needed down the stretch.
Coach, as far as I know, this is the first time in the NBA playoff history all the road teams won game 1, and the second game you won. There is no more home court advantage in NBA?
It seems like it's changing, so I think just the way the game goes now, you can make up ground, I think, a lot quicker, with the way teams shoot threes. And I know, like, for the writers who are around us, they always think every lead is safe, but it's not. And so everything does matter.
Tom, on that last play, just, I guess, walk us through a little bit. It looked like Mitch and OG basically forced him to the left, and what you saw from there.
Yeah, and I thought there was good team defense on that. There was a swarm, and Tatum is so tough when he gets any speed and he's going downhill. So you need bodies in front of him, and then the pursuit from behind is also important. But I thought in the fourth quarter our defense was outstanding, and that's what we need to do for the entire game. Now we're still really concerned about the rebounding. We have to fix that.
Obviously, you don't want to get in the habit of 20-point comebacks. But what does that say about the character of this team?
Well, always have the belief, I think, in each other. I think you get to the playoffs, it's about really your mental toughness, your defense, and your teamwork, and always having the belief that you could do something better and you could find a way to win, right? So it's a long game, keep playing, and that's what they did. And this team has been that way all season long. We dealt with, Mitch being out more than the first half of the season. Then Jalen took the injury in March, and they kept marching forward, and I think that's important for us. Thought Mitch gave us a huge lift off the bench. Cat was, huge, had the big putback. I think Mikal, the way he scored in the fourth was huge for us. It gave us a lot of confidence. And then, Jalen, that's Jalen. It doesn't matter what's going on in the game. He's going to be at his best when his best is needed. And timely plays, but there was a lot of hustle plays in there as well.
As it pertains to Mikal, you always talk about he's one of those guys that puts in the work. And this is the second game in a row he's come up big in the fourth quarter. What have you learned about him? What does it say about his makeup for him to keep shooting and keep going after those first two quarters?
I think one of the things I really respect about him is his demeanor. He just keeps marching forward, and he doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, but he's a great competitor. And so just find ways to help us win. And if your shot's not dropping, play great defense, move without the ball, push the ball up the floor. I thought we got some fast break baskets in the second half. I thought that helped us a lot as well.
Hey, Tom, when you guys are down 20, Miles comes in, and how much of a spark do you think that was?
Yeah, I think he and Mitch, because we were flat, and I think they came in and they provided a spark and got us going. We got some stops, and we got into the open floor. A couple shots went down, right, and then everyone started feeling a lot better. And then once we got it inside 10, we always have the belief that, we can win.
Tom, with Mitch, he's been on a lot of these switches during these first 2 games, and he seems to have really held his own in most of those situations. When did you feel like he was really somebody who you trusted guarding perimeter players out there?
About 4 years ago.
It was there because early in his career he hung around
the first thing, he's got great feet and anticipation. So I think the challenge was when we first got here was he's really got it's not only his defense, but he's very disciplined. And I think that was probably the piece, like for most young players. Once he got to know the players better, and then learning how to become the second jumper, I think all those things help eliminate, the reckless fouls. And he's a huge factor. He's a hard guy to score over. So even if you score over him, it's going to be a tough shot. And so I think he's learned that. He doesn't whack down anymore. Those cheap fouls are gone.
Tom, when you think about the clutch, a lot of people consider that offensive, but now this is the second time that Mikhail's come up big, the game on the line on defense.
Yeah.
Is clutch defense a thing?
Yeah, like people always talk about offensive runs. I think you go on defensive runs as well. You also go on rebounding runs. You'll see guys, all of a sudden, they have, like Josh is a prime example. All of a sudden, he has 2 or 3 rebounds, and then he'll get like 4 or 5 in a row. So it's like making shots. And so I think whatever it takes for us to win, like Carl had the big and one, like Mikhail with timely baskets, Jalen with timely baskets, Josh with his hustle, Mitch all over the floor, switching, guarding, great impact. But that's a team working together.
It was no secret that you guys got OG and Mikhail, but, not for Boston, but with Boston in mind. And the whole, Tatum and Brown for what they did tonight, they did in the first 2 games. Is that kind of what you envisioned?
Well, not necessarily. I think a premium has been put on long wings in the league, so, and versatility. So guys who can guard 2, 3, 4, and even, point guards as well. So we got them because we felt they were good players and they could, make us better. And I think the length at that position, at the wing position, is huge because you're asking guys, particularly with 5 out, to get in, protect the paint, but also to get out and cover the line, and then when the ball gets shot, to also rebound. So I think the length is very important, and and just having the versatility to play 2, 3, and 4. What it also allows you to do is do a lot more switching.
Coach, how critical is Hart's offense, given that they're helping a lot off of him digging, and how critical is it for him to just make shots and make plays and when the time comes?
Yeah, and I think you saw like a variety of, the way he scored, like the transition and the pace are like his strengths. And then he's real clever. He plays a lot bigger than his size. So the rebounding, but also the finishing ability inside. But then he's worked a lot on his shooting. If you leave him open, he's not hesitating, just let it fly. But I think that's huge for us. And particularly if you're going to overcommit, right, we got to trust the pass, trust each other, trust your teammates, and you're going to have an advantage on the backside. Anytime you put 2 on the ball, there's advantages in other areas. And so same thing, Carl gets double teamed all the time, Jalen gets double teamed all the time. So just trust each other, make the right play, and usually the second pass against the blitz or the double team in the post is going to get you a high quality shot.
So you're concerned about everything?
I am.
Can you give yourself a moment after this game ends?
No, that's the beauty of the playoffs, and it really, you can't get wrapped up in the emotions of it. I think it's important, you look forward to the next game, but to understand, okay, it's a series, but you have to focus on the game that you're playing. What is it going to take to win that game? So we know each game, right? There's going to be more force and more aggression in it, and we have to be ready for that. And so all we have to do is make sure that we're focusing on what it's going to take to win Game 3.
Coach, the Celtics took 20 fewer three-point attempts but shot the same percentage, 25%. I know it was a concern about how many shots the three-pointers the Celtics get up. Like, how impressed were you, and what was that a key to allowing you guys to come back and win, holding them to that percentage, even though they took?
Yeah, and again, it's hard to say. Like, I want to look at the film to look at the quality of their shots. They have a style of play. I think they do a terrific job. They're strong on both sides of the ball. So we know we have to play for 48 minutes against them. And if you give them open shots, they're going to make them. If you give them a second crack at it, they're going to make you pay. And it's not just, it's their transition also. And then what they do on the offensive board to get the kickouts and a second and third look at it, they're very quick to the ball. So we have to make sure that we're putting bodies on 'em.
To have confidence in our team. So, unfortunately, again, we put ourselves in a position, but, I think if we've shown anything to the NBA and to the fans, that we're a gritty team and we're just going to keep fighting to the last one.
How would you describe these 2 ball games, these 2 wins in Boston?
Just you're playing the best, you understand that things may not go your way, but you just got to, stick together. I think we're seeing the continuity this team has and the belief we have in each other. And when we needed to show it the most, and these last 2 games, we've done it.
What's going through your mind when you see Mikal get a steal to ice it for the second night in a row?
I mean, that's what he does. That's what he does. We got the clutch player of the year in the NBA, and we possibly got one of the most clutchest defenders in the NBA as well. So it's only right that, for all the talk people have done about Mikal, it's when the lights were the brightest that he gets to show his worth.
You think you guys maybe need to just spot them 20 points at the beginning of every game?
No, don't start that. No. We got to obviously play better. I talked about before the game we had to execute at a higher level. We did our best. We didn't, obviously do as well as we wanted to, but, this team, man, it's just so special. The guys in here, we stay connected even through the bad. And, we just find a way. So shout out to them, but playing a really, really good team, you got to, we can't keep spotting 20-point leads and expect to come out with a win.
Kat, what can you say about the defense tonight, especially in the fourth quarter, only allowing a high-powered Celtic team only 17 points?
I mean, it's a testament to these guys, the resiliency of these guys and the belief that no matter how the game's going, we could find a way. So we've shown it in the Detroit series. We're doing it again here, but it's just these guys, man. This locker room is full of guys who believe in each other.
What does it mean going back to the Garden up 2-0?
It means we up 2-0. I mean, but it doesn't really mean anything. If anything, it's taught me experience from last year. We were up 2-0 the same way in both away games in Denver, and we came home and we left our home 2 games 2-2. So we can't take anything for granted. We got to find ourselves executing at a higher level. We can't keep doing these 20-point leads for Boston and hope to come back and win the game. We gotta play better. We gotta shoot better. We gotta execute better. We can't start having that kind of Knicks basketball being played down 20. We got to start the game that way and finish the game that way, 48 minutes.
Stop against Tatum.
Just a hell of a job with Mitch and OG, guarding pick and roll, and Mitch running him off the line, playing good defense, and then OG even helping him out, and then just trying to react, and so OG make him take a tough step back and just try to help and try to win the game.
What was your role, though, in that last play? How special was that?
It was great, man. It's always great to get a win, especially through, the whole night and battling back. Great feeling.
Is that like a Witherspoon thing again, or what was going on? I mean, no.
Nah, I think it's just playing basketball and reading and, knowing how much time is left and, have a player like Tatum, shine in those moments and want to get to a spot. So just trying to help my team win.
Mikal, what was your mindset in the fourth quarter? Because offensively, you started to take over.
Yeah, man, just everything in my teammates, man. They helped me up, throughout the whole, me missing every shot, until that point. And it's really, truly them, them just holding me together and keep me mentally right and just telling me to keep going. And I think Coach also just trusted me, coming out the forefront and play for me and just putting that confidence in me. But, man, it's really my teammates and my coaches, man. They really, they really helped me up.
Mikal, how would you describe the quality of this win tonight?
It's great, man. Just finding ways to win. That's the biggest thing. I always try to just find a way to win, and obviously we want to start better. But that's the biggest thing, is just always just trying to find a way.
Mikal, Jason Tatum is averaging 32 points at the Magic series, but at the Knicks series, he's averaging like 16. For being the primary and secondary defender, what did you do to make an MVP player off like that?
Man, it's not really me, man. It's a lot of my teammates, OG, Kat, Mitch, everybody, Josh, everybody in the matchups that's up there, and just playing team defense and just trying to help each other out.
I think you guys need to. Would your mindset be different if you weren't hearing what you were hearing from your teammates when you started?
I don't know, man. I want to say it's all my teammates. I feel like I'm pretty mentally strong, but it was wearing on me a little bit, just missing shots, and it's it's really just missing shots is affecting us. You know, I'm trying to win the game, and me missing is not going to help us. So, you know, it's hurt me that I'm, you know, making my team lose at that moment. And but man, it's really just shout out to them for real.
Playing through the final whistle. Can't really explain it, but we just got to give each other confidence when we go through stretches like that, and just keep fighting, keep believing.
Jalen, just walk me through your mentality in these final kind of plays, the way that you had on Monday, and then in these 2 plays in the final minute today. For you, mentally, how have you been so mentally strong and tough to be able to come through in those moments, even if you struggled in the first half of both games?
Yeah, it's a focus that I need to have at that moment. You can't really worry about what happened previously in the game. It's all about just focusing, having a clear mind, and just trying to win the game. That's just my mindset, and I wouldn't be that way without my teammates.
For both of you, Thibs got up here and said people always like to talk about offensive runs, but there can be defensive runs and rebounding runs. And he mentioned Josh grabbing a couple boards there in a row. How important is those things when the shots aren't falling, to just do everything else and do it at a high level? And does that turn into the offense getting to where it needs to be?
Yeah, I think so. You know, when you're not making shots, you got to find ways to impact the game in a positive way. And, you know, that could be an offensive rebound, kick out for another opportunity, a defensive steal to get you out in transition and on the break and get an easy bucket. You know, so and those things are momentum plays. And, you know, they really compound and they inspire your teammates. So, you know, that's something that we all try to do. And, you know, we know when it gets close in the end of a game, you know, it's a one-possession game. We're very comfortable because we got Captain Clutch.